PSquare. You know, they were the first even flying private jets before any of us, you know.
Yeah.
They were the first doing stadium shows before any of us, you know.
Yeah. Like, you know what it means to actually be on the same stage with PSquare? And then like you guys don't understand. Like when they dropped that first time. No, I'm gonna say this, yo. 10 years ago, when that was the first time I heard them, I was young.
Personally. Before the global Afrobeat explosion, before the streaming numbers were in their billions, there were two brothers from Nigeria who redefined what it meant to be African superstars. Their name was PSquare. For over a decade, they weren't just making music, they were building an empire. They sold out the most famous venues in the world, moved millions of albums, and created a visual language for an entire continent. But how did they get there? And just how massive were they at their peak? Today, we are not just asking how good they were. We are going to shine light to their accomplishment to know if truly they belong to the list of legends. This is the untold story of PSquare. But before we continue, my name is AGZ. If you are new here, I make videos about the music business and music production. So subscribe if you want the rating without the industrialized. The story began not in a fancy studio, but in the city of Jos, Nigeria. Peter and Paul Okoye, identical twins, discovered their talent not in a club, but in a church choir. Their first test of performance was singing hymns, but their ambitions was bigger. They formed many music groups within their journey with friends and honored their craft through talent shows. In 2001, PSquare won the Grab That Mic talent competition. This win earned them a sponsorship from Benson and Hedge for their debut album Last Night, which was released in 2003. Later that year, the group was also nominated for the Cora Award as Most Promising African Group. But 2005 was the most important year in their music career. PSquare launched their own record label called Squared Records. PSquare discography isn't just a list of albums, it's a timeline of African pop dominance. Let's break down the numbers that cemented their status. In May 2005, when they released their second album under their own record label, Get Squared, this was the breakthrough, fueled by the monster hit Busybody and classic like Temptation and Efunanya. This album sold over 2 million copies across Nigeria and diaspora. It was certified 5 times platinum in Nigeria. They were no longer newcomers, they were stars. The success of the album earned them a nomination at the MTV Europe Music Awards for the Best African Art in 2006. 2007, they released the second album under their own record label, Game Over. If Get Squared made them stars, Game Over made them superstars. It features the iconic Do Me. The album was a commercial juggernaut, moving over 8 million units and winning the album of the year at the Headies. It was clear they had the Midas touch. It is the most 2,000 stream project from Nigeria on Spotify and has been considered a timeless body of work by music critics. In 2009, PSquare released another album, Danger, and in 2011 they released another album, Invasion, which is the 4th album under their own record label. They didn't slow down. Danger gave us possibility, and the Invasion was a global assault. It housed Chop My Money, the remix featuring Alcon and Mehdi. And personally, this album alone estimated to have sold over 5 million copies worldwide, a staggering number for an independent African art out of that time. Why exact global figures are hard to pin down due to the nature of African market and African records keeping wearing proper monitor. Industry estimates consistently place the album between 10 to 15 million copies sold worldwide, and their music was the continent's most valued exports as of that time. But album sales only tell half of the story. Their true power was revealed under the stage lights. PSquare live shows were not just concerts, they were spectaculars. Their tour were a map of their influence. Sold out shows in Johannesburg, South Africa, Nairobi, Kenya, Accra, Ghana, Houston, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, UK, and many other countries. They were the first African act to perform at the Cora Award with a breathtaking live performance on stage. They were untouchable. Their combination of flawless vocals, intricate choreography, and high energy production set a new standard that every African artist who came after them has had to inspire to. So what actually is the legacy in Afrobeat movement? Let's take a look of what they managed to accomplish in their own era. Visual pioneers, they made the music videos as important as the song itself. The cinematic quality of Chop My Money, choreography of Alingo showed that African music could be visually world class. Business inspiration, they prove you could be independently successful. Through the Square record, they control their masters, their publishing, and their brand, inspiring a generation of independent artists or those that wish to be their own record label boss without depending on international label to go far, or maybe also depending on local labels to push out their craft. The sound of a continent, they crafted a sound that was both uniquely African and universal appearing. They were the bridge that carried Afro-pop to the global stage, paving the way for the current superstar of today. How good were PSquare actually? The evidence is undeniable, with over 10 million albums sold, countless sold-out world tours, and a musical and visual legacy that defined a decade. They weren't just good, they weren't just great. At their peak, they were the undisputed greatest music duo to ever come out from African soil, and that is a legacy that can never be broken. So what's your favorite PSquare memory? Which album do you think is the masterpiece? So let me know what's your thought in the comment section, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more deep dive into the music business and the music production worldwide. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.